it's Captain Matt, Boater's Secret Weapon, and today I'm sitting out here at the marina, and it's a beautiful day, and it's time to get the boating season started. So I figured we would talk about de-winterizing your boat or summarizing your boat, however you want to look at it. So we're going to talk about inboards, outboards, as well as outboards on what you need to do. So let's talk about first, just for all boats. The first thing that you want to do is check your oil, your gear lube, and all of your fluids, and you're checking the levels, you're checking for leaks, and you're also changing them if you didn't change them to when you put it away for the season. When you check for the power steering and hydraulic, what you want to do is just run your finger around all the fittings and the hoses to see if over the wintertime anything is leaked. If it's leaked during that time when it's not running, you have a leak in your system and it's time to address that. You're also looking for anything that is kind of smells or have streaks of water in it, indicating that maybe there was some water left in the system from the previous year. Next thing you want to do is you just want to check all your belts and your hoses, especially if it's a stern drive. You want to make sure if they removed any hoses to do the winterization, that those hose clamps all got put back on tight and proper, and make sure that you also check your fuel filters. If you didn't change them to start the season, now is a great time to do it. Next is you're going to hook your battery up. Hopefully you disconnected your battery at a minimum, maybe even removed it, but clean off those terminals and make sure that you attach it good and secure with the bolt. Don't over tighten and strip it, but get that good and secure because it's real easy for a wing nut. Prefer you don't use those, but for a bolt to come loose, and make sure they're good and clean so that corrosion is limited during the season. Next, the plug. Yes, don't forget the plug. Find out where it is. Where did you put it? Hopefully you took it out of the boat so you stored it so that air could circulate and no water accumulated. But find that plug, maybe put it in, but make sure it's on the boat, and we'll get to before you put it in the water to double check it again. That's a double, triple, quadruple check thing, is get that plug in regardless of where it is. Find it and get it to an easy spot. Next, you want to just check all of your systems. So your bilge pump, your bilge blower if you have a stern drive, your navigation and anchor light. Just inspect the entire boat. Now is a great time, before you're really in the heat of the summer, now is a great time to make sure that any of those little ticky-tacky repairs or something that may have happened in the off-season, or you just missed last year, you put the boat away and didn't even realize it. Get those things addressed now before you start that season, especially if you can do it yourself. The dealerships, the technicians, a lot of them are going to be really busy once the first beautiful day happens. So you want to get in early, do what you can, but get that addressed now so it doesn't cause a problem Memorial Day, 4th of July, whatever day you're out. And then you also, I recommend, this isn't really summarization, but it's getting ready for the season, and that's to just check all your gear. Make sure your fire extinguisher is in good charge condition. Go through your PDFs, all those life jackets that you just have extra on board. Go ahead and make sure they're not moldy and mildewy. Throw the stuff away off the boat that you don't need. Donate it if it's in good shape. Put your new gear on if you need to replace anything. That includes dock lines, fenders, your throw cushion, all that extra stuff, your first aid kit. Go through that, and you can check all that stuff at the Boater Secret Weapon store now. We actually offer that, which you can go to our website, boatersecretweapon.com, and find that type of gear as well. And don't forget, if you're a trailer boater, don't forget that trailer. Go ahead and get those hubs greased up. Do a light check. Check your winch stand. Make sure that's all greased and lubed up. Check your winch strap to make sure that it's not fraying or anything, and replace that if necessary. Check your coupler. Make sure that's greased up a little bit. Spray some WD-40 on there. Check your brake fluid if you have brakes on your trailer. And check your tires. Check for the pressure. Check for dry rot, check the age, and just make sure that that's all in good working order as well. And make sure you have your transom straps also. Now, it's time to get to the water. You've got the boat. You can crank it up on a hose if you have a fake lake, or if you've got the earmuffs. Great way to do it. Get that boat fired up. Make sure everything's running right and properly. But if you do go directly to the water and you've used the biodegradable antifreeze, you can go ahead and put that boat in the water and crank it up there, with a couple caveats. So the first thing is you want to make sure that you're tied up at the dock or you're still on the trailer. So don't do this on the busiest day of the year. Don't do it Memorial Day weekend, but get that boat back down, get it in the water if you're at a dry stack marina, put that boat in the water. If it's a stern drive, lift up that engine compartment. You want to see what's going on to make sure that if there's any leaks, if anything doesn't look right, that you can see it, okay? So put the boat in the water, make sure that plug's in. Remember, we found that plug. Make sure that's in before you back it down the ramp. If you've got a boat that has a choke or primer, you might want to prime that bubble a little bit, get the choke. You might have one that's got the push in with the key. If you've got a fuel injected engine, you don't need to worry about that. And go ahead and crank that engine up, okay? I am assuming that you treated the fuel and you put it away properly. You've got a full tank of fuel. If you don't, go ahead and fill that up with fresh 100% gasoline. Crank that baby up. And if it's an outboard, make sure that water is coming out of the pee hole. Make sure that that water pump impeller has primed and is pumping water. If you have a stern drive or an inboard that has a closed cooling system with the heat exchange, you want to make sure that heat exchange is open. And you also want to make sure that the water pump impeller is pulling water in and that it's primed. On the Volvos, especially the newer Volvos, this is an issue that's kind of known, so you just need to be aware of it. Go ahead and touch the back of your hands on the part of the water pump impeller kind of facing out from the engine. That will get hot instantly if it's not priming. If it's not, go ahead and push the neutral button and give it a quick rev or two and give it just enough suction. It'll start sucking in from the source. Had this happen on a 2019 Cobalt that I was on, and the Volvo technician said, we see all sorts of boats overheat because people either don't set their heat exchange right after winterizing, they leave the plunger up or down, I don't remember which it is, or the impeller doesn't start priming and idle, and they just let it sit and run for 20 minutes, and it never gets going. So give it a quick rev in that neutral position if you have that issue. That's another reason why you want that engine compartment open. You want to look for any water coming out. If maybe the freeze plugs didn't get put back in properly or something didn't get tightened up, those hoses that we talked about checking earlier, check all that stuff to make sure that the water is coming in. On the outboard, it's the pee hole. It's nice and easy to check. On the inboards and stern drives, can be a little bit different. If you've got a carbureted engine or a two-stroke, expect some smoke. They're going to fog those engines when they put them away for the off season. Maybe you did it yourself. That's going to cause that smoke to start burning off, right? So that's going to cause smoke. It should go away after a couple of minutes, but don't be too concerned about that if it's only 3, 4, 5 minutes before that all burns away. Stay near safety. Once you've had that boat running for a couple of minutes, all right, now we're going to release the lines and we can go a little bit of cruising, but just don't head offshore or don't head out into the middle of the lake. Make sure that you stay near safety just in case there's something that happened over the winter time that you didn't catch in your inspection, and then you go. After you run it for maybe 15, 20 minutes, everything sounded good, then you should be in good shape to go out, knowing that you've checked all your safety equipment, your VHF radio is charged up, ready to go, your fire extinguisher is ready to go and charged up, and you're good to go. Now, I didn't talk about the fuel water separator, because what I would encourage you to do is actually run the first full tank of fuel through there and then change your fuel water separator. It's less than a $50 expense. It's real easy to do yourself. And what you do, if there was water that got into the fuel system over the wintertime with condensation, with ethanol fuel, whatever it may be, you can get all that out, change your fuel water separator, and now you start with the fresh fuel water separator after that first tank of fuel, getting most of the contaminants out that may have been in that fuel. Then, if you're newer to boating, this is your first, second, third year, you want to make sure that your skills are in line where they need to be. We have some great programs for that. The Free Boater Boot Camp for new boaters. And we also have the Best Boat Captain on the Water, which is all about docking, maneuvering, handling your boat, trailer like a pro, confident coastal boater, tow water sports with confidence, and others that you can check out at boatersecretweapon.com. And with that, you should be off and running and having a great season with minimal effort. Remember, keep up with that maintenance. Keep putting 100% fuel, no ethanol. Avoid that at all costs if you can. If you don't run your fuel out every week or two, if you have the same tank of fuel for a month or more, go with that 100% gasoline. You can find it in most areas, and put good fresh fuel in. Your boat will love you for it. If you found this valuable, we'd appreciate it if you gave us a quick thumbs up, shared it, and do all the stuff that helps YouTube know that this is good content and other boaters should check it out. And remember, life truly is better on a boat.